Hey everyone! This is the second video in my series on breaking down, explaining the structure of existence and why this matters. So in the last video I spoke about how there is a structure to life. There is kind of like, there's parameters, there's a rule book, and not knowing how this works makes you kind of go outside of these rules, and this hurts. How do we know this? Well, by paying attention. Like I mentioned in the last video, if you stick your hand into the fire, you will burn your hand and it hurts. This shows us that our body, our biomechanical feedback system is here to show us, to guide us of what works and what doesn't work. And so if we're talking about interacting with the physical environment, stubbing your toe, it hurts. That's a physical reaction. But we have another reaction as well, which is a chemical reaction. Our emotions. Our emotions are like a GPS. Our emotions are a guidance system, letting us know when we are deviating from the universal laws by what feels good and by what doesn't feel good. Emotions are like a language. So there's this really popular phrase going around these days, which is feeling is healing, which is not true, but it's also not the complete story. If feeling is to healing, then hearing someone speak a foreign language like Mandarin, then that would equal getting the message. But if you don't speak Mandarin, someone can speak to you all they want, but you wouldn't get the message. So emotions are a language. This is what emotional intelligence is about. This is how you turn your emotions from just like something random that just keeps happening to you and something that you are a victim, that you seem to be a victim to in a way, and you turn it into a very, very refined, crystal clear GPS guiding system, letting you know how you are guiding yourself through life, not through the physical space, not you keep running into stuff, but you can't see those things, but your body will let you know what this means. And like a tiny mini crash course on the language of emotions. If it doesn't feel good, if you don't feel good, good meaning, let's say, unconditional love, joy, happiness, passion, excitement, compassion, clarity. Did I mention love? Yes. You know, this range, this spectrum of emotions. Or actually, this is beyond emotions. This is more like our natural state. If we're not in any of these states of consciousness, if there is other emotions, nothing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not supposed to fix anything. You're supposed to let that be a signal, a warning signal. If there is emotions of, if there's anything along the lines of pain, sadness, frustration, judgment, despair, depression, you name it. This is worry, anxiety, doubt. This is a warning signal. Hey, pay attention. Pay attention to what is going on in your mind. Pay attention to your belief systems. Pay attention to what kind of perception you are creating for yourself. Your negative emotions are letting you know you are running up against the borders, the parameters, the structure of reality. So imagine, if you will, that the universal laws, let's take the universal law of oneness, that everything is one thing and it seems like all these separate things. Let's say that that's a line, a straight line. Now, if you were to deviate a little bit from that line, that's where you start to feel a little bit iffy. This is where you should start to like pay attention, like, okay, this doesn't feel good. Let's maybe investigate. What am I doing here that is akin to sticking my hand in the fire or bumping my toe, and then just keep bumping my toe over and over and never really getting the message, getting the hint. The more you deviate, the more you try and bend something that actually cannot be bent, we can just have the experience of bending it, the more you will hurt and the more you will suffer. And you know, like the further you go, like that's death. That's at a certain point you create, you know, mental and emotional instability and disease and you know, not well-being. But the further away you go from that, from alignment, you will create physical disease and eventually death. And so we as human beings, we need to become more honest with ourselves. We have to become, more brutally honest. We have to become more honest about how we're truly feeling, so that we can start to use our emotions as a guidance system. Because most of the time, we're in denial. We're blaming our emotions on something or someone else. We are distracting ourselves. We're numbing ourselves. We are everything. So the first step of emotional intelligence and using your emotions as a GPS is to become super aware of what you're feeling, fostering sensitivity. The more sensitive you are, like over time, the less emotional you will have to be. Different things. So developing sensitivity, which just comes down to honesty, brutal honesty, transparency within yourself. And then to recognize, to understand what emotions are for. You know, your natural state is one thing: joy, bliss, happiness, peace, compassion, passion, excitement, And then emotions are just waves that are passing through. And they're passing through because they are a response, they are a manifestation, a physical manifestation of a thought, of a belief system. So every emotion, every negative emotion, which is actually positive because it's just a warning signal, is there for you to follow the trail. Remember, it's a GPS. Feeling your feelings will bring you to the destination. But then you still have to like get out of the car, walk around the site and see why you had to go there. So accepting your feelings, getting in touch with your feelings is the first step. Accepting, welcoming, embracing, creating space for every emotion is the second part, the second step of emotional intelligence. And we will go deeper into this topic with other videos. If you like this stuff, you can hit subscribe, find me on Instagram, on Facebook, the Psycho-Spiritual Therapist, Imaya Sabina. If you want to join the curriculum that doesn't just explain the structure of reality, but gives you actual tools and transmissions and tips and inspiration to apply this stuff to your day-to-day life, to actually make it work for you, check out imayasabina.com/subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.